Stephen, when you're ready.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. Welcome to Starts Park. Thank you all for your attendance for today's announcement, which I'm very pleased to say and delighted to welcome Ian Murray to Starts Park. Ian is a lead candidate, was a lead candidate. There was a great amount of interest in the job here, and I think we have made a fantastic appointment in getting Ian in the chair here today. So I'd like to say congratulations, Ian.
Thank you.
Welcome you to Starts Park. I think you're going to do a fantastic job here. You've got a great team of people around you, and I wish you every success.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah, guys, welcome. Just to echo Stephen's words, I'm absolutely delighted to be the next manager of Raith Rovers. I have to say a special mention to John McGlynn as well, who's built a really good squad and had a really good season, getting Raith Rovers playing really good football. Also a huge thank you to Adorians Football Club as well for allowing me this opportunity. They have gave me a chance back in management when I was in Norway years ago, so I can't thank them enough. I've made great friends there for life, but now a new chapter begins for myself and a new chapter begins for Raith Rovers, and we're looking to get started.
Questions from the floor? Anyone?
Ian, welcome to Raith Rovers. What was the main factor that drove you to this job? Was it the desire to try and get this club to the top flight of Scottish football?
Yeah, there was a few factors, you know, with my decision making. It's always nice to have a decision, and sometimes it's tough to make them. And as much as a fantastic time and an enjoyable time I had at Airdrie, I seen Raith Rovers as an opportunity in a higher league. I was always impressed with the way that they played football. It was a big decision for me to. That was a factor in the decision, the way that Raith Rovers play football, very expansive, very attacking. Always felt as a opposition manager coming here, it was a very tough environment to get points and win games. The squad, when I looked at it on paper, looked really good. Also knowing some of the guys playing against them, and a few of them I've known since they were young apprentices at Easter Road, that's how old I am, was also a factor. So I'm, as I say, looking forward to getting started, looking forward to meeting the players formally very, very soon, and discussing some ideas with the senior pros as well.
Even though you're just here, do you have any initial ideas as to where you'd like to strengthen the squad?
Yeah, well, look, teams are always looking for players to improve them. You know, and no team is a finished article. The greatest teams in the world are looking to improve every season. We're exactly the same. There was probably one thing that hurt Raith Rovers last season was the amount of draws in games, which happens because it's hard to win football games. If we could all win them, we'd all be top of the league. It's that simple. So we look to hopefully improve our firepower going forward. I like to play attacking football, which means you need attacking players, but you also need to be really solid at the back with a work ethic that no other team can match.
Final question from me before I open to the floor. You obviously finished in the top half of League One 4 consecutive seasons in a row. How do you view the Championship in terms of the intensity of the competition? Because some might say that, arguably, stress the word arguably, that this is the most competitive league in the whole of the SPFL pyramid.
Yeah, but I think if you ask any manager in any league, they'll tell you their league's the most competitive. It's a very hard league. It's a different style to an extent from League One. I know that. I'm not blind to the fact that it's a difficult league, and any win in football is very, very hard, and you have to work hard for it. Raith Rovers showed that last season by doing so well and still just missing out in the playoffs by a whisker. Competitive, yes, but we expect that. That's professional sport. That's why we're in it. We're all competitors, and we look forward to the challenge of that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ian, what are your immediate aims for next season?
Well, as I say, my first port of call is now to meet the players. We've got to build our environment very quickly. We don't have time to waste. We want to get to work as quick as we can. We want to get the players bedded into the way that I work, and hopefully they come round to that way, because every manager works in different ways. There's no right or wrong. You do what you think's best and make the decisions that you think's best. So my first aim is now to meet the players, let them know how we will be working this season and how we'll work going forward in terms of our schedules, in terms of how we want to play football, and the best place to do that is out on the football pitch.
How much work do you expect to do in the transfer window this summer to achieve those goals?
Well, like every team, we try to improve. We hopefully add one or two faces. I don't think the squad needs ripped apart or a rebuild job at all. I think they've got some really good players here, good senior pros, good young guys who I think we can improve as well on the pitch and off the pitch. Try and introduce new ideas into their mindset as well to move them forward in their careers. Look at the loan market, which is a vitally important market for every club in Scotland. We've built good connections over the last three and a half years to do that, so that's certainly a market we're going to be looking into.
Could I just ask, Steve, what was it about Ian that made him stand out from other candidates?
What Ian stood out for me is he's a younger manager than we've had here before. I think there's a group of them around the country at the moment. But Ian, his ambition, his will to succeed, and the way that obviously we looked at Ian's previous games, Ian seems to have a foresight and an ability to look at a game and make the right changes at the time to win games. And I know just even speaking to him, he'd rather go for 3 points than 1 point, and that was I think for us an exciting chance to move on from where we were. We struggled to win games with a lot of draws, and I think what Ian said to us ticked all the boxes, and I'm sure we'll see that in the next season.
Ian, I just want to ask, have you got your assistant manager in mind?
We're in negotiations at the moment. I don't think I'm out of place saying that, because Airdrie have been absolutely professional throughout this process, and we have a great relationship which will continue going forward in life, never mind football. So we're hopeful of bringing Scott Agnew, who's been a tremendous help to me on the pitch and off the pitch. We're very close together as well. We've built that up over the season. Obviously helps when things go well and you can enjoy yourself a little bit. I think Scott would add a lot of value to this football club, a lot of value to the players, and it's a great opportunity for myself and Scott to remain together. You tend to find in football you come as a team, and it's hard to get that team, and sometimes you have to have a look around, try different options, but I feel that Scott, for me, was an outstanding number one target for myself at the moment.
Okay, so if there's nothing else from the floor, if the written press want to move their chairs closer to where Ian's sitting. Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers. Cheers.
Alan,
Cheers.
career.
How
Nice
you
to meet
doing?
you.
Thank you. You too.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ian Colin.
How you doing?
Yeah.
I think it was a situation where the kind of club's ambition matched their own in terms of where you want to get to.
Yeah, definitely. I think the chance to come back in the Championship was hugely appealing for me. Also, football's a funny game. The disappointment I felt this time last week after losing a playoff final, and then now to be sitting here, looking forward to a Championship season, albeit at a new club, it's exciting for myself. It's been a long journey back. Sometimes the knocks make you stronger, and you deal with things differently. You gain experience and you learn from mistakes. So I'm really looking forward to trying out my methods at a new football club that are receptive to what I was suggesting to them as well. And I genuinely feel that it'll help Raith Rovers in the short term and also the medium term.
Did you make your mind up, not made your mind up to move on, but did you think the time was right to try a new challenge, or was it something that just kind of came out?
I was very happy at Airdrie, and I emphasised that to Airdrie throughout my time there, not just last week. When I spoke to my owner there, it's more that the boys that we built there were fantastic, and we had a very, very close relationship, and I wish them all the best. I really do. I hope they can get over the line this time, whoever takes over there, and they come into this league. But my life's now at Raith Rovers, and my full focus is now on Raith Rovers. And the challenge of trying to get them into the playoffs, which we just missed out on last season, was probably the biggest draw to me, and also the tradition of the football club. Also, you know, it's a team that's got a good fan base, and I think we can grow the fan base. It's important that we, you know, yes, the pitch is really important, the most important part, because that's where people come, but we must build the football club.
Was it a wrench to leave your dream?
Well, it's always a wrench to leave somewhere that you enjoy working and people you enjoy working with, and the players, because, as I said, they gave me everything last season. I gave them as much as they gave me. It's a two-way thing. You know, speaking to them last week when we were discussing our moving forward at Airdrie was difficult because there's good lads there, good boys. A wrench to leave, but also excitement for myself. You know, they fully understood that. You know, the amount of messages that they've been sending me today has just been overwhelming at times. So, you know, we leave on great terms. I wish them all the best, but now my life is here and I'm looking forward to it.
Hindsight's a difficult thing, but if you had won that playoff last week, would you still be in the Airdrie, or would you still kind of thought about moving on? Or?
Again, it's the if buts and maybes of life. We'll never know. You know, our goal was to try and gain promotion. I think at the start of the season, people probably looked down at us a little bit. I mean, we quite liked it. We enjoyed it. You know, we had big teams in that league, and we managed to turn them over on several occasions because of we believed in ourselves. It's about getting the players to believe in what you're doing, making them believe in how good they are, making them feel confident, letting them make mistakes, because there's going to be tons of them. We wake up every morning, we make mistakes, so it's about eradicating them as much as we can. It wasn't to be for whatever reason. We probably deserved to go up over the course of this season. To lose one game in 24 was just a remarkable achievement for the football club, and it was purely down to the players. I've said it before, and I said it this morning to Raith TV. We give them guidance and we give them help, but we can't do things for them. They have to do it themselves. And the more we get on board, the quicker, the easier it will be to transition from one manager to the next. So really looking forward to meeting the guys. By what I'm told, they're a fantastic bunch of players, really close knit, and they want to get better, which is great.
Obviously big shoes to fill in terms of John McGlynn, but do you feel like he's left you a spine of a team that just maybe needs a little bit of sprinkling just to
Yeah, absolutely. I think John has been fantastic for Raith Rovers over his 2 spells he's been at the club, and Paul. He's an experienced manager. He had his team playing great stuff, you know, and John, probably the first to admit, adapted his style by taking a little bit of time out of football, which happens. Same as myself. You go away, you look at other things, you learn other things, and you try to implement what you like into your new opportunities. So I can't speak of John highly enough. I think the players also enjoyed working under him. He was great for the football club, but as we know in football, it's a short game. Things change very, very quickly. But in terms of the squad, there is a good squad there. There's no doubt about that. You don't finish 5th in the championship if you're not a good squad and you're not a good team. And that's, it's not just the football side. The ingredients need to be right off the park as well. So when you go into the park, you're ready to go and you're ready to fight for each other. And it's not just the 11. It's not just the subs that come on. It's the whole football club.
You mentioned meeting the players and speaking to them a couple of times. Of a couple of boys that are out of contract, Brad Spencer, Regan Tumulty. I mean, have you had any initial conversations with them? Any early indicators as to whether something could be done there?
Yeah, we're hopeful of keeping Brad. We know it's again, footballers have options. They have to be careful themselves. And footballers talk. That's there's all sorts of chats going on these phones these days. So I think a few of the Airdrie boys know a few of the Raith boys. I'm pretty sure they've been in contact in the last couple of days. So yeah, we'll do our best to keep the players that we think that can keep adding to the club. But there'll obviously be guys that are you can't sign everybody and you can't keep everybody, so there'll be comings and goings, but we don't see a huge amount of change. We don't want it's not 10 in 10 out job. We want players that will be adding value to the club. Again, it's the quality over the quantity.
On the same vein, I think, is Kyle Benedictus not out of contract as well?
Yeah, Kyle's out of contract. Again, I think he's played over 300 games here for Raith Rovers. He's a natural leader on the pitch. I don't know Kyle off the park because I've never worked with him before, but we'll speak to Kyle, of course we will, and we'll see what we think's best for everybody.
When you say that you reckon there will be chats between the Airdrie players and the Raith players, what do you think the Airdrie players will be telling the Raith players about you?
I don't know. Footballers can what they say to you is sometimes different to what they say to others. look, I had a very close relationship with my guys at Airdrie. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. Probably an abnormal relationship, and maybe some wouldn't like that. You know, some managers like to keep their distance. We just got ourselves in an environment that was fantastic. We really did, and I'd like to recreate that here. I'd like to think they speak highly in terms of the work ethic will be hard. We will demand a lot from our players, but we give them a bit of leeway with it as well. We want them to come in here and enjoy themselves. You go to work to enjoy yourself. You don't come in here with, you know, unhappy without a smile on your face. And there'll be times that they've got stuff going on in their own lives, in their private lives, and they're human beings, and we have to respect that and understand that. But keep them going. So hopefully they're speaking. Let's not say highly. Let's say they think I'm all right.
The fan base, and you mentioned the fan base earlier. Obviously, there was a bit of disconnect last season with some of the adverse publicity. I mean, do you see this as an opportunity to just try and bring this club back together, kind of as a whole? Yeah, look, I walked into a football club 3.5 years ago that was needing the same. Not to the extent that the Raith Rovers need it. You know, the past is the past as far as I'm concerned. Decisions are made, and nobody makes decisions hoping they go wrong. Certainly not. So the fans, if we play the right football, we get the right players in that can produce exciting performances, the fans will come back. That happens at every level. I've seen it at Airdrie last season. For us to have nearly 4,000 at a game was remarkable. And that again was down to the football that the players were playing, not me, because I don't play it. I just try to help them. And I'm sure we can recreate that here. There's a great nucleus here of a fan base, and once the boys go over the white line, the fans will support them.
How well do you know the Championship here?
Yeah, well, because of the playoffs more than anything else, obviously it's difficult for me to see games because I was in a job. It's different when you're not working. You can go to games and you can get a feel for all the clubs. But with our Championship, you know, or trying to get into the Championship, we had to take in a lot of the games. You know, so I was actually at the last derby, the Dunfermline Raith won. I was at a lot of Dunfermline games more than any because we thought it might have been them and Ayr United. That was the kind of the two teams that we covered. So we got a good feel for it. It's good that the coverage now, especially on BBC, that there's a lot of Championship games being aired on Friday evenings, which gave us an opportunity to do that. And also we've got a great system here in terms of you know, the media side of it, where we can get a good bundle of games. And you need to watch them all. You can't just watch good ones. You've got to watch the bad ones, and you've got to watch the ones in between. So we'll be well clued up. We've got time on our side now to go away in the next week to 10 days before the boys come back and you know, get stuck into everybody.
Did I hear you saying that there were players here that were academy kids when you were at Hibs?
Yeah, Sam Stanton, you know, was at Hibs. I remember as a young boy, young skinny Sam, but he had abundance of ability at the time. Obviously he's went down to Dumbarton as well, not when I was there, but obviously I keep an eye on the guys that I've, you know, kind of known. And you know, delighted when Sam came here because I felt he always had ability, and I believe that he's had a really good season. So it'd be nice to see him again. Try to get a little bit more out of him. Try to, you know, improve him like we will every player, not just the young boys. So yeah, there's a few faces, not too many. Maybe Christoph and Jamie, who obviously the Hibs Hearts connection and stuff like that, and Edinburgh guys, all that sort of thing.
I take it Sam was even quieter when he was a young boy.
Yeah, he was a quiet boy. He was a quiet boy, but you know, he was young. You know, as you get older and more comfortable with yourself, you begin to start talking a little bit more, and it's one of the things I enjoy seeing young players who, you know, are a wee bit, I wouldn't say scared, but they're a little bit naive. They're not sure how to take people, and then you see them growing up into men, if you like. So I enjoy seeing that and then progressing with their football.
Have you got any? Sorry,
you mentioned narrowly missing out on the playoffs this season at Raith. The previous season they got to the semi-finals, within a couple of kicks of the ball reaching the final. Is that the kind of ambition that you see for the club next season? Yeah, you've got to set your standards high, and as I said before, there's no pipe dreams here. You know, it's an opportunity to progress a football club, and we want to get in the playoffs. You know, and look, if you sit down and you ask Greenock Morton and Ayr United what they want to do, they're going to say the same. There's only 3 spots there to get in there, but we need to make sure that we're one of them, and we want to be one of them. If we don't do it, it certainly won't be for the lack of trying or the lack of working. But yeah, that is our ultimate, you know, goal. We want to be in that group of teams that are competing to get into the top division.
Dundee will obviously be massive favourites, but is it possible to give them a bloody nose even with the resources that
yeah, Falkirk were massive favourites in League One, so you know, it's the favourite tag will be put on a couple of teams. Football's not played in favouritism. We firmly believe that we can you know, challenge teams. It'll be very difficult, we know that, because obviously they'll have more resources than all the teams in this league, and maybe retain more players in some teams. But you know, we're not scared of going up to Dens Park, that's for sure.
You got any, obviously without naming names, but any players in mind that you know will do their job for you here?
Yeah, I think you're always watching games and looking at players and keeping them in mind that have done well. You know, we have to be fair to the group of players that have been here or are here, and give them an opportunity. And we have to sit down with them first, because they might have ideas as well that they might perhaps need a new challenge, and we have to accept that. But there's certainly players that I feel that can add value to this squad. There's areas of the team that need strengthened. But again, if a player pops up and you don't desperately need that area, but if he's a really good player, then you've got to try and do your best to secure their services. And you know, it comes down to, you know, a lot of things. Can they adapt to maybe a bigger club? Can they adapt to a different routine, a new manager, a little bit more pressure? But yes, certainly we've got players that we'd like to bring in. Yeah.
Thanks, Ian.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much.